Yeah, what you get when you order the floor mount stand is you're going to get 3 boxes. One box is going to have the square floor frame that you see kind of outlined right here. You're going to get another box with what we call the outrigger brackets, and then you're going to get another box that's with the outriggers themselves. We call these the outriggers. So you're going to get 3 boxes as part of this package, and then of course you'll have the G1000 to put on there as your separate unit.
All right, you see all the parts that we have here, and there's various different screws, washers, and bolts to go with each one. We're going to show you each one as we put it together.
Yep.
Now we already have it mapped out in the frame that's going to be the actual look of it. So as you notice, we have this
2 I-beams like this and 2 straight beams right here like this. And then you're going to get, these are the 3.5-inch long bolts for the square outer frame, and you're going to get 8 of those bolts. So those 8 long bolts that are in the box are the ones you're going to want to use. And so, as you can see, I took the rubber ends off. It comes with the nice rubber ends on here, but I wanted you to see the bolts going through there. And then, obviously, it's pretty simple. You put it through the I-beam like this. You grab yourself your washer and a lock washer, and then you're going to bolt them on like that.
Now it says,
all the way around.
It says it in the manual on how to put this together, and it goes over and shows each one of those bolts and nuts and what you should get in each package. So you can review that, but I think once you see this, you're going to see it's very easy. Important note that on the beams on the ends, you got to make sure the holes are up. These are threaded holes.
These are threaded holes, and what you'll notice about this square floor frame is that you've got threaded holes on the top of each of these 4 beams. The reason for that is this frame can also be used for our G4000, which is essentially 4 G1000s on this frame. You would get a second one of these frames for the top of the G4000, and then let's say you had a beam in your school that you had no use for whatsoever, you could put 4 G1000s
or
right
if you
around
just
the
want
beam.
a 4-station.
Yeah, if you just want a 4-station.
And have all your accessories on it.
Yeah.
And have 4.
Yeah.
I mean, if like you're really loaded and you say, hey,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, or you have a
That's
school that you have limited space and you don't have, and you can't use your walls in your school. You can get 4 units, a circular or 4 square
So
station.
go to the product thing and see that. You'll see that.
Yep. So we're going to put the I-beams together with the straight beams to form the square, as you can see. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. Create the square. And again, tighten them all down. Get them all put together so you got your square going first, and then you can tighten them down.
You got washers.
Yep.
All right, so as you see, we're just going to repeat this over all these for the 4 connections that we have on each side, 8 in all, and then tighten them down.
Now, right after you get this square tightened, and you're going to go to the next step. Now,
where's the other nut?
There you go. And again, tighten these down with your wrench, but for this sake, we're going to just kind of go through how the configuration will go from here. This is your Olympic weight plate holder. Okay, that's going to be in your cross braces right here. So, let's get this stuff right. This is one of your cross braces. It's going to go right like this.
And as you can see, it can only go one way, the right way.
That's right. And then you've got the bolts that go right into the side, and again, on here, just line up the holes, and you've got some internal threads that you connect this to. So you catch the threads, and then they'll go. Okay, and then on this other side right here, line up your hole, and bolt her in. And then you've got this bridge piece that has 2 threaded areas for the Olympic plate holder right there like that. So this will go here.
So that goes in second over the top of the first.
As you can see, there's a bridge cut out right here so that it goes right over that mark in the middle.
So the way I always think about it is that the longer piece goes on first, and then the threaded piece over the top.
As Jim said, it only goes one way because one is slightly longer than the other. Get it. I'm trying. She doesn't want to go in there.
I should have.
There we go. Okay. So that'll go like that. And then here, you're going to have your Olympic weight plate holder. And you've got some shorter bolts. Now, the next phase that you're going to want to go to from here is to put one of these outrigger brackets on the back. you're going to bolt that down in there.
So we're just going through and tightening all the ones that we started with our hands and kind of just getting the whole structure really just set up. Notice I'm using a crescent wrench on the nut side, and then on the hex head side I'm using a socket wrench. What size socket wrench is this one?
That's a 3/8 or a 9/16, so you can get it with either one.
3/8 or 9/16.
Yep. So you'll have one of these outrigger brackets on the back of the frame, and then you're going to attach the second one to the upper wall mount bracket of the G1000. And that is so that you have two ways to catch the outrigger, on the top and on the bottom.
So we already have the framework put together for the base of it. We really got to attach the new support for the top and the bottom. Or we already have the bottom in. And we already have the G1000, and as we saw in the earlier one, referred to the installation of the Focusmaster, we've just put on the top wall mount and the floor mount bracket. Other than that, this is how it comes. So we have those already hooked up. We're going to just go ahead and hook it up to this.
Yeah, now that you've got your outrigger bracket on the back, you're going to want to mount your G1000 to the front. That's the next step. And so you really want two people to do this one, because you're going to need somebody to hold the frame in place, somebody strong. Can we get somebody strong?
Yeah.
And put that right on that top, and line it up with the holes that are in the I-beam at the bottom here, because these are threaded holes. Everything we make is easy to install. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward, especially when you see it on video. So you got these two. These are two that you want to tighten almost all the way down, but not quite, because you're going to do a final tighten at the end. Let me grab a socket. You see how the machine, we could tighten these up a little bit more right here, because you're going to want to be able to, as you get the outriggers going on the top, you're going to want to be able to move that G1000 back and forth a little bit just to get it in the right spots. Okay? So everything's pretty tight at this point, but we'll still be able to manipulate it.
It's like a giant erector set.
Right? So make sure that you hold this up for safety while the other person gets the outrigger bracket first, I'm sorry. Now the outrigger bracket goes right up here onto the wall mount bracket like this.
Is there any particular, there's no upside down?
There's no upside down. So then you're going to take your bolt, these little bit longer bolts here, and you're going to come around, and you're going to tighten that one on there.
And you do want two people on this, because this stuff is heavy weight. If it falls and clunks you on the head, it's...
Yeah, you don't want that. Two people at all times. Okay? And then we'll tighten those down. We'll do a final tighten up when we get the outriggers themselves on here. So you want to put an outrigger here into the outrigger bracket. See the holes on either side here. We'll line up the bottom hole. So Jim will tell me where I am with that.
It's a family show.
Okay.
So now I'm going to put a washer. Lock washer.
Yep. As Jim fumbles with that, we're going to go to the top one up here and put it through the top, just like the bottom. Jim, you want the bolt head on the outside?
I think that would be the right way to do it.
So, okay. Come on, you. There we go. Okay. There we go. Bolt that one on there. And then we'll give that a final tighten at the end. This one's next. Sorry, Gino. You see the top hole here, how it's going to line up. So you can see how this thing is coming together. It's pretty simple.
And it's sweet.
And it's sweet. Okay.
I'm going to go get some.
Now, when it comes to getting Olympic plates, you can get them from your local Olympics weight store, your local fitness store. For us, we like Focusmaster. We like to go with the nice stuff that looks the best. Obviously, that's how we build our stuff. We want it to be the best. We like the rubberized weights. They just look cooler.
Unpin me, mate.
Now, Jim, I want to before we do that, I want to show them how especially on a hardwood floor, even a carpeted floor, because this is a powder-coated frame, it can shift. And what we really recommend is that, Gene, come on in here, I want to show these holes. Although this can accept plate loaded, if you can, we always recommend that you mount it to the floor. So if you're in a school setting or whatever and you don't want to put weight plates on it and you're able to mount to the floor, that's what we definitely recommend. If you're in an apartment setting or someplace in your garage or your basement and you don't want to floor mount it, you don't want to wall mount it, then the plate loaded way is the way to go. So what I would recommend when you do also, if you're going to go plate loaded on any floor surface, is get yourself a rubber mat. Now, this rubber mat you can get at any Home Depot or any Lowe's. It happens to be like a 3x3, 3 foot by 3 foot mat, and you're going to want to put it.
This is like a stress mat, they call them, or something. To stand out.
And we want to tighten down this whole framework at this juncture, so that when we put it on there, Jim, we're ready to put the targets on. So let's just finish up the tightening on here, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, as you can see, even in the single station look, you know, I really like wall mounted myself. So if you can do that, I think it's the best way. But like, this is great too. And like you said, Marty said, if you're in an apartment or someplace you can't put it on, this is the only way to do it, and it works great. And it looks great.
It really does. I mean, the Focusmaster itself,
the footprint of this, even though it looks kind of like, wow, this is a heck of a piece of equipment, the footprint still takes up less room than a heavy bag.
It does. It's 3 foot by 3 foot, so wherever you put it, you only have 3 feet.
So a heavy bag swings, and it takes up, I'll bet you, double the footprint.
That's right. I mean, this is less than half of the length of a treadmill. So for your home use, it's just fantastic. It's still compact with the floor mount stand accessory. So whether you wall mount or you floor mount, the Focusmaster is a space saver.
That's sweet.
It is. It is. There is no doubt. And then tighten up down here. Make sure you're all tightened up everywhere you go.
That's good.
Okay? All right. Great. So now what we want to do at this juncture is put this machine on the mat. Now, when you've got this floor frame on, this is a heavy unit itself. I mean, this is probably about 200 pounds.
Let's tilt it.
Okay, I'll put the mat under it.
Yeah.
Why don't we come this way?
Because my floor.
And because this mat has some holes in it, you could take some wire ties and make the mat go directly with the floor frame. You can tighten it right on there.
She said have those floor ties.
Now we can just put the targets on there and you're ready to train. You can see how cool this machine looks just as it is.
Well, you put it together in 18 minutes.
18 minutes, that's not too bad.
No.
Man, he does a lot of talking. You know, the great thing about it is too, I like it. One thing I do like about the floor stand, raise the machine up a little bit. And I don't normally use the slowest peg, but I do when it's up that high. It's just at the perfect kind of shin height.
Put your targets on, lock them in, and you're ready to go. That's the floor stand.
Awesome.
Yep.